right now? Oh, he brought himself in.
Oh, okay, brought himself in.
Wow,
I can do that.
When did that become a thing?
The last 3 podcasts I've been able to do that.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Who
I'd have
did
left
that?
your ass there forever.
So that way I can keep control.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Gentlemen, how are we doing on this Monday evening?
What's up, fellas?
I labored on Labor Day. I hope you boys did not, because
I did not.
I labored hard on Labor Day. I cut my yard, my neighbor's yard, because they moved out, and I got new neighbors moving in, and they were like, will you cut the grass? I'll give you $30. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm cutting it anyway. Just, all right. It's fine. It's fine. And then I'm Coach Tom because I'm coaching an under-8 soccer team, an under-10 soccer team. I'm now helping assistant coach with my wife as the head coach of a under-8 girls softball team. And I'm like 90% sure I'm going to be assistant coaching a under-10 boys baseball team starting tomorrow. So
got your hands full, pal.
A little bit. It's
you got a lot of little league sports to deal with.
You know, I have to be there anyway. So if I got to field ground balls and you know, maybe hit some grounders or whatever, pay attention, tell kids to shut up, I can do that. I have that.
I mean, I'm good at that.
Eventually, you'll be hand-eye coordination, Tom.
I'll be old, blind, and dead, Tom. Is what I'm gonna be. But that's a story for a later time. Derek, how you doing? What took you so long?
I was actually out doing the same thing, doing a little mowing. This week though has been fantastic. It's our wedding anniversary this weekend.
An anniversary.
So we went out of town, did some things, rode a horse to a really high mountain thing. It was cool.
Yeah, you sent us that you were like something like, oh, I'm getting this whatever with tequila. It was like, bro, it's like 11:15. Like,
yeah. It was a holiday, you know. So that was our wedding.
Like
I had a couple of those.
Have y'all really been married a year already?
Rack of ribs. It was good.
Oh, it was a mule. That's right. We were like, bro, it's like 11:15. Like, I'm like third cup of coffee. Like, that's
right.
I had a cup of coffee with it. I did order a cup of coffee to begin with.
Oh, well,
as
that
I looked at the alcoholic
everything.
beverages menu. That's
changes
how that
everything.
works out.
Yeah. No,
never
mind. I take it back.
Yeah.
Sorry if we said anything, sir.
Of course, move on.
Yeah.
Other than that, my apologies last night, guys, for kind of effing up the pay-per-view plans. I built a sweet desk though, and I will show it to you after the show because my wife also starts her new job tomorrow.
Sweet.
Huge fucking shit going on in my life.
Hell yeah, pal.
I bet that's awesome. I've also built a new desk semi recently, so I know the pain.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy about your wife and her new job, because that's real good. So good for you. And I know we talked taxes earlier because we're old men, and that's what I do.
We did. Yeah.
Retirement and taxes.
It's convenient, you know.
It is convenient enough, right? I know somebody that does the literal most boring thing that
I'm not
anybody
gonna
can do.
not tap my buddies for reference on this.
It's fine. I appreciate it. Look, I know so much about it and the fact that anybody would talk to me about it is just like, somebody has talked to me about this other shit that makes all this space in my head.
Financial planner, Tom.
Yeah, and you won't yell at me about it because you haven't paid me to do it. So that's hopefully I end up with lots of retirement money, and if not, I'll eventually at least end up with enough to retire.
I'll hold a grudge for years. You'll never know, and you'll make a list that I'll eventually
technically
have
still
to take care of.
So you've probably got 35 years or so before you're going to retire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It'll be all right. It'll get figured out.
He's just
Anyway.
a little guy.
He's just a little guy.
Hey, so I mean, I had a day off, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
I love that, by the way. It looks really good.
Dude, it's fantastic.
I got a pretty cool T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
See, we don't sell that one on the store, though.
Nah, they sell WWE
we gotta tell the story about the shirt because I kind of wish it stayed for the podcast, but I'm happy to have known it existed.
So
it's fantastic.
I designed this T-shirt one night solely to make Derek mad, and I said, "Man, I'm going to keep this a secret." And then I had my work trip, and I had asked one of the people from work to cut this on their Cricut for me, and she's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem, whatever." So like, I'm talking to Derek. I was like, "Oh man, I designed a new T-shirt for the show," and he's like, "Oh, I like this. Yeah, I haven't done any design work or anything." I was like, "Yeah, man, just a little bored, whatever." He's like, "Well, let me see it," and I said, "No." Hey, wait. What do you mean no? I'm like, well, I don't want to show it to you. Like, I'm gonna have one made, and then like I'm gonna wear it, and just let you see it when everybody else sees it.
Yeah.
He's like, well, fuck that. It's not cool, man. I was like, well,
no, when did I beg? Well, maybe I gave you some shit, but I mean,
so
it wasn't that bad. You were easy to push over the edge there.
Okay, well, that's because I was a bottle of whiskey deep, and I was sitting in front of my computer when you called me. That's not fair. So I eventually accidentally, but maybe on purpose, showed Derek a little snippet of the shirt, and all it said was the word cast on the shirt. And he goes, "Oh, you made a Bullet Club T-shirt."
I did. I knew it.
So I did. So drunk me ruined it because I knew he would have known. Anyways,
everybody's gonna have a Bullet Club T-shirt.
Yeah.
I mean,
may as well be us.
What brand does not at this point? Aeropostale does. American Eagle.
They do?
Arizona Gene Company.
Oh, well, shit.
Fresno.
Forget it. Can I get one at Kohl's? Can I get one at Kohl's? Stephen Barry?
Yes.
No,
I didn't think so.
So, guys, speaking of Kohl's, lots to talk about this fine
man.
That
was the best transition.
So,
yes,
I've got to believe that I need to start out by just getting everybody a little riled up. So, just recently, Chris Jericho had said that he really thought that at some point during his match with Nick Gage that he was going to have to kill him in order to get out of the ring. I mean, when I was watching it and I was like texting back and forth with Derek, I was like, man, this could be real bad for Jericho real soon. Like, because, Nick Gage might just decide that he doesn't want to play nice anymore. And then this comes out, So, I mean, Derek, what do you think about the fact that maybe, Jericho thought about killing Nick Gage?
I mean, why not? It's murder, death, kill game, ain't it? MDK, baby, for life. You want to play the game and you want to rock the gimmick. You gonna die in the ring.
Backfired, didn't it?
I think you maybe should have.
Yeah.
Truth be told, I read that earlier and I was like, "Oh man, Chris Jericho thought he might have to kill Nick Gage." I was like, "Yeah, maybe he should have."
Yeah.
I mean, kayfabe killed him. But then again, remember when Rey Mysterio? Remember when he kayfabe died? They threw him off Titan Towers, and then he waltzed back in like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, and then got his eye poked out that same day.
Yeah, like we didn't watch him fall to his death, and then he got his eye poked out, but then his eye came back.
Yeah,
just like Paul White, the Giant. He died.
He's like Wolverine,
the monster truck.
That's right. But yeah, anyway, so now that I think about the kayfabe death, maybe he should have just killed him, but he didn't. So we're gonna have to suffer through that some more. But that's it is what it is.
But in GCW news, apparently we have a new champion, which is exciting. Allegedly.
No, it's not.
It's whatever, man.
It's the 24/7 title of the Indies now.
Okay, did you not notice that in the pay-per-view for All Out, Moxley comes out in a GCW hoodie?
I did.
It's the crossover. They've got the crossover, man. It's the door is wide open. There's like double doors now, and they get real big. They're great.
John Moxley is proving why. John Moxley is proving why his star power has never sustained any semblance of sustainability. It's just not.
Oh,
no, man! I'm excited for.
Shit.
He's proven why.
No.
What you just said? No. Oh my God, Tom, that's brutal, bro.
I mean,
he's proving for not giving respect, Tom.
Wow.
Look, top guys don't do that kind of shit. They just don't. If he was a top guy, he wouldn't be doing that.
Wow. So, I did not expect that at all.
Look, I like the man.
The Outlaw Mud Show hate runs deep in Tom.
He's not a top guy. Top guys don't deal with that. So now he's not a top guy. I feel like everybody just like they think, and like sometimes he acts like he's a top guy, and he clearly has the ability to. But then he does Outlaw Mud Show bullshit, and then he does non-top guy things. So he's not a top guy.
You know what, Tom? I don't agree with you, but can I tell you who I thought was a top guy this week? Was fucking Eddie Kingston, his partner in crime. Eddie Kingston came out and gave a fantastic match.
Eddie Kingston doesn't do as much Outlaw Mud Show bullshit.
No. It wasn't about that. That was just a beatdown, back and forth.
No, yeah. I mean, I feel like Eddie's
fantastic wrestling.
Eddie's growing on me. I mean, he's not that good at wrestling, but he's much better at talking. He's really good at talking. Guy? But no, Eddie's growing on me. And I'm going to tell you, I really, really, really enjoyed the match with Miro. I really did. And it was exactly what it should have been. They let Eddie save some face, but Miro retained. He looked dominant as hell. I mean, they just beat the shit out of it. It was a slobber knocker, boys.
I wouldn't say he was dominant as hell. They both gave each other some
right.
Shit.
It was a slobber knocker.
You guys are going to give me shit for this, but I recently watched the Walter and you got to help me with the name.
Ilya Dragunov?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Watched that 2 days ago as I was building this desk, or yesterday, whatever that would have been, and it was like that was a legit fight. All right.
Yeah. Right, you fantastic. Can't convince me they weren't actually fighting, right?
And they legitimately fought. I watched AEW and All Out, and that first match was fantastic. It's the same thing going hard. That's all I'm going to say. Rip me up, I don't care, but I enjoyed the first match. That was fantastic.
What was the opening match? Refresh my memory.
Miro and Kingston.
Oh yeah. No, it was good. I liked it. It was a slobber knocker. They had them. They tried to have the Dragunov versus Walter match.
It was that version of it for sure.
Yeah, it was their version of what they were trying to do. Neither of them are quite the nor did they beat the living shit out of each other to the same level of like it wasn't.
No,
Dragunov.
There was.
I feel like Dragunov probably has big ass scabs on his chest still. Right now, like just big scabs that are just nasty.
Bro, if it was UFC, he would have to be out like mandatory 90 days. But instead, it's WWE.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna see him, bro. I know. I mean, we didn't see him next week. I mean, it's been a little while.
I haven't watched NXT.
I want to say he came out on NXT UK. He came out with the title, but he had a shirt on. Like,
I'm sure that he
did. Pal. Dude's got some Band-Aids going on there right now. He came out on NXT UK, so he had a shirt on, so he's got some Band-Aids going on under there for now, at least. We'll see how long that lasts. But man, my man was welted and was bloodied.
Yeah, listen, though, that's a great parallel because I think that it was absolutely what they were trying to do. Two big guys, and I mean, Eddie's been running around all week telling everybody that'll listen that Miro's got the most choppable chest he's ever seen. So, I mean, he knew, I kind of figured that we were going to get a little bit of this, and to kick off the show with this, my goodness gracious, what a great match.
I'll tell you what, I really
crowd
thought he
was
had a
into
chance
it,
at
bro. Like,
it was fun. I had a blast. It was exactly so. I was excited about. I think I said this in the chat before. I was excited about it going in, and then like it kicked off the show. Well, it wasn't the buy-in, but it was the next. It was
Yeah,
good.
I have not watched the buy-in. I don't need to watch the buy-in. I'm buying in. It's fine.
I watched the whole. I don't even remember what the buy-in was now. But
yeah,
it's
I didn't watch the buy-in.
I started from start to finish. I just kind of did it as a whole thing. But it was it was great. It kicked off what I was like, yeah, that was exactly how I wanted that to start, and I was satisfied with it. Miro retained. I felt like they kept Eddie Kingston strong. I like Miro as a champion. I really do. This was his first sort of not super dominant win, although I felt he looked real strong in the end too. It was good. I thought it was great, and I think they did a good job. I think what they've been doing with Miro the last 4 or 5 months since he won the TNT title is what they should keep doing with him, even when he drops that and moves into the main event.
So then you're a fan of the Redeemer.
I'm a fan of the Redeemer, and he redeemed your balls.
Yeah, listen.
Did you see?
Yeah, I did. I was just getting ready. Hey, man, Eddie Kingston played that to a T, man. Redeemed D's nuts, man. That's the first time we've seen D's nuts in a while, and big up to Eddie Kingston because that's going to be everybody's go-to here for the next couple of weeks. Oh, do you know D's? D's nuts? Yeah. But no, seriously though, I like the build up.
Redeemed your balls.
I like the build up, and they really had their thing. It was two kind of just offsetting personalities, and they went out and they had a hell of a match, man. Kudos to those guys for sure.
I mean, those guys, at least in the kind of match they had, those guys know. I think Miro's are actually really good. Truth be told, is that I feel like he
was good when he was in WWE, pal.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, he just
didn't get the chance.
Well, it's like they would start to give him the chance, and then they'd be like, no.
Well, it's because the fans wanted him, and then Vince is like, It's Vince. Right there. Thumbs up? Nah. I don't like it.
So, listen, for real though, like, how good was All Out? Tom,
real good.
Like, I mean,
I think I said this to you earlier. All Out was like, if I would have, known what I knew going in and then sort of fantasy booked the show, that's it. That's sort of what they did. It was like, oh, we're just going to give Tom what he wants based on what we've told him. Let him draw his own conclusions, and then like, here's your thing. Enjoy this. And I did. It was great. It was great from start to finish. And
absolutely.
I got everything. I wouldn't say I was surprised with anything. If I'm going to give it not a down note or anything like that, but nothing surprised me in All Out. But I was very content with all of the surprises they had in store, even though, God, wrestling media sort of ruins, especially AEW, surprises.
Yeah.
I was very happy with all of it. The debuts, which I'm sure we'll talk about, and I won't start spoiling them now, but I thought all the debuts were really, really good. I think every time one of them happened, I said, finally, some fucking good talent. And I said it like 3-4 times over the night. It's like every time somebody walked out and you guys were like, I'm not watching it. Shut up. Shut up.
Shit.
But it was good.
Sorry.
It was everything I wanted.
But listen, like, Derek, what you think overall about the card, man? Like,
man, I thought the card was great. There was a couple points other than the debuts, which we won't ruin at this point, but I kind of took a couple of things away from it. I honestly felt like the MJF Jericho match was a big letdown. Maybe
I don't know that it was necessary.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I wasn't really excited for it.
That one, man.
Yep, it wasn't necessary, and just the match itself was just trash, in my opinion. I mean, it was not to say it was sloppy. I'm not going to go in there and do better, but it wasn't compelling. There was no compelling theater about it. It was just whatever.
We didn't. It was like, well, why are we doing this again? It didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I know why we were doing it again, because Jericho was like, wrestle me again, and if I lose, I'll leave. And I get it. Okay, that to me is sort of hot-shotted, especially after they had the whole build of the the labors of Jericho and all of that. I don't feel like that was necessary. Maybe they had to throw it in there just to make sure they had another big match on there. And I feel like with the with Adam Page sort of being out for the moment, being family man, and them being real nice about it, maybe they didn't have, they needed a few more big marquee things that they could throw up there, and this would have been one of them. Although
I get that, bro, but like at the same point in time, it's like, at what point do you not put this on pay-per-view again? And one of the things that like keeps hitting
it wasn't as good as their last match on free TV.
Absolutely not. But like, one thing that people keep talking about, and it keeps making its rounds, is the fact that like, WWE has all of these rematches, and how AEW doesn't do this and doesn't do that, and like the stats came out for last month or last year or some shit like that, and it was like 63 rematches in WWE and like 19 in AEW. But like, that's great, but when you put these big marquee matchups out here and you see the same match 4 times, it's like, for me, that was the least, the thing that I was looking forward to on that card the least was Jericho and MJF. It made no sense, and like it
made this much sense. If you watch Dynamite on Wednesday, it made this much sense.
Can I jump in here and tell you guys why it made sense? Just a second. Jericho has creative freedom. He has creative control. He had to get his last match in there to get his heat back and be, oh, Jericho is staying great. And I love Jericho. Don't get me wrong. You'll see me singing in the video that we should promote from whenever we went to Dynamite. I love it.
Awesome.
But this is totally a situation of Jericho having creative control in his contract, and saying, nope, we've got to he does. That's been confirmed. He's the only one that does, as far as I know.
Not according to Tony Khan earlier today, when he said nobody on the roster has creative control. That came right out of TK's mouth.
A lot of people have more influence than the others.
Hey, influence is one thing, but at the end of the day, that's not creative control, pal.
At the end of the day, it can get you an extra match out of your...
I mean, I'm not arguing your point. Your point is valid, but at the same point in time, don't say he's got creative control, because he doesn't.
I'm saying he does.
What do you kids call that? Fake news.
Well, no.
I don't know that the kids call it that. No. The boomers call it.
I'm just saying, hey, if it comes out that way, that's great. That's how I'm going to stand on it.
Okay, boomer.
Okay, pal.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You fucking bum. Yeah,
whatever.
So, but listen, like, right, a lot of good things happened on All Out last night, and let's go ahead and let's just start listing them off. Tom's favorite, I think, moment of the night, the biggest surprise, I think, out of the surprises that Tom was most happy about, was one Ruby Soho drew the Joker in the women's casino battle royale.
I love Ruby. I really do.
Look at you. You're just so salty.
Derek, how you feel about Ruby in AEW?
It's what. Hey, you know what?
How do you feel about one of the greatest women's stars of our time?
Positive spin on it
in AEW,
and say that it's upgraded the women's division, as you guys have been requesting.
Absolutely,
and the women's division has gotten much better over the recent year.
You know who still sucks?
Who still sucks?
Chris Statlander. She wasn't at All Out. Oh no, she was. She was.
She was. First one out. She got taken. Yeah, man.
Wait. Hey. Was Joey Janela at All Out?
No.
Is he fired?
He was probably sitting in catering.
Oh, okay. They have catering?
Speaking of, did you guys see this bullshit that Nick Khan cut the catering budget at WWE?
Motherfuckers better bring a lunch.
Now there's hot dogs and fucking
Yeah.
those little pizzas.
You guys want nachos? Chili?
With the fucking
You good?
These guys are on strict like meal plans where they're like they got like X amount, they're like measuring carbs and like they're not all roided up anymore, so they got to follow strict meal plans. And they're like,
giving them a gift card to the
we're
arena.
Just gonna cut the catering. We're just going to cut the catering. Like, let them eat hot dogs, dogs and nachos.
Here's the
Have
thing,
you
right?
seen him?
He
looks like he eats hot dogs.
He does.
Hey, I like hot dogs.
I like hot dogs too, but I don't look like Drew
I'm not on a
McIntyre.
special diet. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I don't look like Drew McIntyre.
And I would be smart enough to recognize this as my business, that they should probably continue to look like that instead of some flubbed up version of themselves, all jacked up on hot dogs instead of HGH.
Jacked up on shitting themselves in the ring because of hot dogs.
But listen, like seriously,
how many hot dogs do you think Sheamus has to eat? Seriously, he's a big motherfucker. How many hot dogs?
Listen, you're gonna have all these guys on the WWE roster backstage having Nathan's hot dog eating contest. I'm gonna beat Joey Chestnut for
That's
the golden
such
wiener.
good shit. Oh my god.
At what point does somebody take a suplex and absolutely just drop a load in their pants because they had like 19 hot dogs before?
At what point does somebody just take out Vince McMahon and say you're done, bud? Like, no.
I mean, that might
you're unable to make your own decisions anymore. Stephanie and Shane just take over his affairs.
So listen, but we've been hearing about how like legendary WWE catering's been for like the last 30 years, and now all of a sudden it's like, here, boys, have some arena food.
Yeah.
It's wild, absolutely wild. So
that's the craziest story that dropped this week, especially in today's day and age. Like,
yes,
back in the day when them dudes were all roided up, like that probably didn't matter. But
no. They probably had beer bars in the back.
Yeah, for sure. But now that like these guys are on strict diet, like you can watch any one of them on their like fucking keto and their CrossFit and their Celtic warrior workouts, and they're all like, oh, we got the diet dialed in. Has your diet ever been dialed in?
No.
I can dial pizza. I'm very good at that.
No.
I dialed in some tortellini earlier.
I dialed in some Chinese food. It was great. I didn't want to cook.
Well, no, you labored on Labor Day, pal.
I labored all day, and then I ordered Chinese food. It was...
So, but seriously, though, like I feel like Ruby Soho adds a little bit of credibility to this women's division that is still trying to find its identity.
Well, and she's different than anybody else on that roster. I mean, she's different than anybody on anybody's roster, but she's also like legit. You know what I mean? Like she's super legit.
She was a little mistimed in the little battle royal, but that's okay.
The fact she won it though.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that, it makes sense, and I think shoot her to the top of the card is probably a great idea.
I mean,
you're talking about somebody who like literally was like the main contender for Ronda Rousey right after Ronda Rousey won, and she played her
talent for Ronda Rousey.
She what?
She was enhancement talent for Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, that was totally just nothing. Yeah.
She was.
That doesn't give her any credibility.
Well,
you're just playing right in my hand, Tom. Thank you. Keep on going.
No. I think you're talking about.
Remember that one time that she lost to Liv Morgan?
No, but anyway, but like, how do I put this? What they've gained is a steady hand. They've gained somebody who has serious experience and credibility, and they've also gained a locker room leader. And I think when she was let go from WWE, that was like the biggest thing that you heard was like, oh my God, like one of the most loved people in that women's locker room was her. She was there. She had everybody's back. And not only that, she was there to discuss, talk about matches. She was there to talk about moves. She was talk about taking bumps. I don't know that anybody takes a bump. Maybe Liv Morgan, but in the women's division better than Ruby Riott does. I mean, the Riott Squad were, they were, the bumping heels. They were the heels that they were the Brood. They were Edge and Christian back in the Attitude Era for the women's division.
Right.
And, you want to talk about guys who women just got hit and just took bumps that were insane all over the ring. It was them. And, so I feel like they play their role perfectly, and she's going to be a great talent on that roster, even if she takes a lot of bumps.
Listen, that bump she took from Nyla Rose was nice, man. Nice.
It was. It was better than any bump anybody's taken for Nyla Rose. And what is AEW 2 years old now?
Yeah.
Are we 2? Is it 2? In 2 years. Best women's bump period ever. AEW 2 years in. Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho. All right, let's move on.
No, just move on. Because Tom's... Dude, it ain't that fucking good. It's fine. I'm glad they have.
Are you going to use my catchphrase? It's fine. It's fine.
It ain't that fucking good. I can use that. It's not it's not a big deal. It's whatever. I don't know. I'm not excited. I didn't like her work in WWE. I don't care about her work in WWE. She didn't do anything. I wasn't in the locker room. I'm not back there excited to talk to Ruby Soho.
I want to give her a hug.
Riott, or I don't.
I want to give her a hug.
Would that change your life? Argument. I didn't come prepared because I didn't think anybody would be so excited for this bullshit.
I was excited.
This is ridiculous.
You weren't because you weren't looking at the chat. When she came out, I was like,
want a half-ass women's battle royal. I was honestly more excited about Blue Sky or Sky Blue or whatever she was. Oh, and also, I'd like to bring up a point, boys. Seriously. Let's settle down for a second. So, can we all agree that Abaddon is not ready for television? That bitch is frightening. There is no way that goes on normal ass TV. That was, I don't want to, I was eating ribs. And I was like, God damn, nope, I don't want to see that while I'm eating.
She was eating ribs.
She's wild.
Like human ribs.
I am not interested. I'm into horror, but geez, lady, she takes it to another level.
I like her.
I mean, I think it's a cool gimmick. I don't know. I think she sucks in the ring.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
They got the local hero in there with Sky Blue or Blue Sky, whatever, and then they both went out at the same time. Between the two, and Abaddon's had a contract for a minute, it seems, but I'd say the other local talent that we're seeing try out has a better shot at this point, even though Abaddon has the better gimmick.
So,
I'm sorry, Tom.
Here's the thing, right? For me, I still think that the women's division needs some love, man. I mean, at this point, you're talking about Ruby Soho, she's, Mother Mary Joe's. I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's she's there to save the women's division, and Britt's gonna eat her up, pal.
Britt is gonna eat her up, and that's
Britt's
fine.
Gonna eat her up, and Britt's gonna make everybody know that she's not as good as she thinks she is. I'm telling you.
No, I mean, look, I think she's certainly there to bump for Britt, and I think that's going to happen next. Clearly, she's going to bump for Britt, make Britt look strong. She's going to get some. But she's going to get some good stuff in. I do think that they will put that belt on her eventually, but I do think she's going to bump for Britt because that's really where her strength lies, in just taking bumps and making it look like, oh my God, this person killed him. Britt will, it'll happen. Ruby will be a thorn in her side for a little while. They won't have a match. Ruby will be a thorn in her side. And, then they'll have a match on the next pay-per-view or whatever, and it'll be great. And, Britt will still win. And I think that's the right call. Britt's clearly the face of that division. And I don't think that, giving it up to Ruby Riott or Ruby Soho, right away.
Calm down, JR.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that's the I don't think that's the best call. But I do think that I'm intrigued by the storyline just because I feel like just giving her the freedom to be a pain in her side, to be a pain in her ass, and then, eventually take a bunch of bumps for her and tap out after a pretty good match is great. It's a good idea.
She looked good. It's going to be fun.
She did. But she looked shredded. She looked in real good shape too.
Britt's just going to eat her up, man. And that's
probably,
that's because Britt has been on this steady incline over the last year and a half, and Ruby's been stifled, and we haven't got to see what her potential is to be realized yet. And I just don't know that bringing her in the Joker spot and then having her win the whole goddamn thing is going to be beneficial for her in the long run, because I feel like that Britt's just constant improvement week after week after week after week is going to be too much for the holes that are still exist in Ruby Soho's game.
It would definitely stunt Britt's progress as she goes.
Well,
it would be ridiculous to throw that in there.
No, but I think that Ruby's going to be a good step in Britt's ascent to greatness.
Yeah,
because I'm going to be honest, boys. That match against Statlander's not great. It was fine. It was a good match.
Yeah. It was forgettable.
Like, she wasn't as good as she's not as good as we thought she was. That's what it comes down to. I mean, we sat here, all three of us, a couple weeks ago talking about that maybe she was the right one to be in that spot out of everybody that they had, and that she had earned and she'd worked it, and it just didn't translate to the ring, man. It really didn't. It really didn't. There wasn't even.
I was excited to see it, and whenever it came on, and about at least 5 minutes into it, I was like, well, I can go get a drink or use the restroom. I'm not. This is trash. I didn't think it was going to be.
I wouldn't go that far to say it's trash. I thought it was.
Trash is probably a heavy word, but you know what I mean. It wasn't. It was a pay-per-view quality match, but it wasn't.
I feel like it would have been fine on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been a good TV match.
I feel you.
I mean, overall, it was a decent match. Like,
it was fine.
I'll defend it as decent for sure, and it deserved to be on there.
What I think that a lot of us thought that it was going to be, right?
It was a let me up match.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. So obviously, Ruby Soho adds a little bit of credibility to the women's division. I think all three of us can agree on that part of it. Let's see what they continue to do with their women's division here behind Dr. Britt, because right now her and Thunder Rosa are the ones for me.
They're clearly the better. If there's going to be a 4 horsewomen of AEW, there's 2.
Yeah, 100%.
We're looking for the other 2, but
who's not looking for the other 2? The Elite.
The Elite. Be elite.
Hey, let me just say, I got one thing I got to say. Adam Cole.
Baby.
So we kind of thought this was going to happen. I know that the three of us kind of talked about this off air last week. We didn't really touch on it too much because there was no real development, right? Uh-huh. But it happened, and I was entirely captivated that it happened. And I loved the way that they booked it, that it looked like he was coming out to challenge Kenny. And their past, that they've been in the Bullet Club and this and that and the other. And then he comes out and he just joins the Elite, right? They positioned
Jungle Boy.
They positioned the best guy on Wednesday nights with their best guy on Wednesday night, and they've put him at the top of their roster. And the best thing that WWE offered him for a main roster call-up was to be a heel manager.
Oh, that's what they offered him?
Came out right before we came in here.
Yeah, then he would have been nuts. He would have been nuts to stay. And look, that's exactly what I said a couple weeks ago. oh man, they let his contract expire. Because like for me, it was like, oh my god, what are they going to do to Adam Cole after the man's had the run of a lifetime on, you know, it is in one of what could have been one of the best wrestling programs of all time versus him versus Johnny Gargano, and you know we got in with Ciampa as well, and you know the whole thing with the Undisputed Era for the last several years, and just like, man, how good was all of that? And then even like his last couple weeks with like against Karrion Kross, where they're like, you get out the smoke, you got the girl, all they need to do for me is ring the bell. And you know, I mean, just you want to talk about a guy who just gets the crowd into the palm of his hand, whether he's wrestling or whether he's talking. He's everything. He's all of it. The only thing he doesn't have is size, right?
Doesn't matter in AEW, pal.
It doesn't matter in AEW.
He has the size for AEW. Yes,
he does. Exactly. Yeah. So, but I mean, otherwise, the man is Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels probably 3 or 4 inches taller than he is and has 20 pounds on him, but otherwise, you know, he's Shawn Michaels, and now he's in a spot where he can be the guy, and it doesn't matter because you stand him next to Kenny Omega, he doesn't look that small, right?
No,
yeah,
he did.
Well, standing next to, you know, Nick and Matt Jackson,
he
looks
big.
normal.
He looks big, right? Yeah,
we're good.
So it's not bad. I mean, he would have been nuts to stay. Really, he would have been. And AEW would have been nuts to let him go anywhere else. And so I'm glad it rolled out the way that it did. I do think, and oh man, now that Hangman's sort of nowhere to be found, I do think that he turns on Kenny.
100%.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen.
I think he takes it. And I think it's going to be one of those. And we won't see it coming. And
nope.
But it'll be like, because it'll happen on a random like Wednesday, maybe even a Friday.
Yeah.
Right. And we'll be like, and it'll blow the world. It'll be like when Mankind won the WWE Championship for the first time.
Put some butts in the seats.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll put. I mean, this is going to put eyeballs on the show on Wednesday. I would like Dynamite got hit 1.1 million last week. I would bet they hit 1.2 or so this week, if not more. I think that I think they're going to be now that they finally signed some fucking good talent. I mean,
I think that's a little extreme. I think they've signed some exciting talent. Boys, the entire time I can't keep the smile off my face. I'm so happy to see Adam Cole here. I was hoping for it, wishing for it. I'm fucking pumped. This is going to be great.
Baby.
I even wanted the t-shirt. They don't have it out yet. I tried to order it.
I tried to order it too. It's not
there. Yeah. We'll see who'll pay the most for shipping to see who gets to wear on the show first.
Oh my god. $8.99 for shipping.
So I kind of have a blanket thing that I want to talk about with the surprises, right? But I'm gonna wait. So like Adam Cole to AEW, man, it's top notch for me. I said it a few weeks ago. I'm skeptical, but they have my attention, right? Today I'm much less skeptical and very much more captivated because of a couple of things that happened last night. And the other thing that happened, which probably shit all over Derek's parade last night when he was watching this, was Bryan Danielson makes his long-awaited AEW debut, and he interrupts the Bullet Club reunion and immediately positions himself.
What made it more palatable for me? It was more palatable because he aligned himself with the Jungle Express. And
Jurassic Express.
Jungle Express, Jurassic Express, whatever.
No.
Fucking Polar
There's
Express.
There's a fucking dinosaur. You plebe.
It's terrible because these don't even get planned. This just happens because it's a talent. Anyway,
jump back on that plane to
I'm not super fucking pumped. Like, okay, whenever AEW first started, let's say 2 years ago, even the first 6 months, I was pumped for Jungle Boy. Loved it. Loved everything. Yeah. And then you added Marco Stunt, and I was kind of sour about it a little bit. You know, it is what it is. Okay.
They've backed off on that, though, to their credit.
They have, but he still comes out with them. He doesn't wrestle anymore, doesn't seem like.
Occasionally. To their credit, it's
because they signed a bunch of good guys.
But just here lately, they seem to be trying to push him, and I get it, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not going like this whenever he comes out. I mean, that's what I've got going on.
I will love to watch
the fact that Bryan Danielson aligned with them. That's fine. I don't. It's good. Good. We'll go with good, not fine, because that's Tom's thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's my thing. It's fine.
Yeah, but didn't really matter to me one way or another. Enjoy. I'm glad it's gonna be good for marketing, good for advertising, great for numbers. You guys will be excited. You pure wrestling fans, the ones that don't like the outlaw mud show bullshit, and I'll be over here with my CM Punk and Adam Cole debuts.
Listen,
in GCW land.
Listen, pal. Listen, I'm kind of with you, right? Like, I like DB, man, but like, I don't like hazelnut in my coffee. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I hate it.
Yeah,
I like half of it.
You're stirring the wrong flavor into my drink, and I could have done without DB, man. Like, if he'd have stayed on the other side, that I'd been much happier with him, I think, because it's just kind of where he lives in my mind. And it's like, you look at somebody like Adam Cole, and he's at NXT, and it's like, man, like they could do so much with him, right? And then
he's untainted. He's untainted, bro. I'm sorry, but you got to get in there on that. Like, seriously, he never went to the main roster. That's what makes him so perfect.
Right.
He's perfect for this.
Exactly. Same with Aleister Black, Andrade.
Aleister Black and Andrade.
Well, he did, yeah.
Although, if we're gonna put it in that regard, to Derek's point, through the whole most of the Wednesday Night Wars, Adam Cole was the champion.
Yeah,
he was the NXT champion.
Yep. Also, North American champion at one point before that.
North American champion at one point.
Didn't he hold both titles at one point?
No,
that was Keith Lee. Keith Lee is the only one to do that.
Okay.
But so, like, I'm kind of with you, Derek. We're like, okay, cool. Let's see what happens, right? Let's see what they do with Daniel Bryan. But I don't know that what they're going to do with Daniel Bryan is going to be better than what the other guys were doing with Daniel Bryan. And Tom, I already know what your argument is on this, and I'm going to let you have at it. But, like,
so
we haven't seen the dude in a while.
No, we haven't. But the last time we saw him, he was in the main event of WrestleMania. So it's hard to say, like, Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is the biggest star on AEW right now. He would have been he's the biggest star. He's a bigger star now in AEW, and just a bigger star, period, wrestling wise. We're talking in a broad painting of brushstrokes. Maybe the bigger stars are like Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, but otherwise, I mean, Seth Rollins wasn't in the main event of WrestleMania. Finn Balor wasn't, although he had a fucking fantastic match this last Friday with Roman, and there was some demon seeds planted. So hopefully that comes to fruition. But Daniel Bryan's probably one of the biggest stars in the world right now, top 10 at least, and they closed the show with him, and that's gonna put eyeballs on the product. That's gonna put a lot of eyeballs. Like, last time you saw him,
that's a fair assessment.
That's going to put eyeballs, regardless of what he actually does in AEW. I don't know that he'll reach the heights. He might not. But man, I mean, you want to talk about a guy? How good was his heel WWE title run?
Oh, it was incredible.
Oh my God, with the organic title belt. I mean, that still might be my most favorite title belt of all time.
It was dope. Everything about it was dope.
I mean, just the whole every promo he cut, every match he had, it was like, man, that was so good. That to me was like his run and AJ Styles' run with the WWE title over the last several years were like, for me, just like that sort of old school, like, man, somebody gets me, and they put it in WWE, and clearly that's over. Nobody gets me anymore over there. But
like, here's my thing though, right? Like, maybe that's why. Like, I just completely lost my fucking train of thought. I'm sorry.
But I'm just saying, like if I get more of that in AEW, I'm going to turn the TV on.
All right, can I jump in there on that real quick there, Tom? So with that, okay, we get Daniel Bryan, right? That's great. And you're saying he was a former WrestleMania main eventer as soon as that was the last match he's had since AEW, correct? So, do you guys not agree, though, that Brock Lesnar has a much larger, and I love AEW, obviously, I'm an AEW mark, I'm not going to fucking act like I'm not, but commercial-wise, Brock Lesnar has
he's not Brock.
The UFC reach, he has the wrestling reach.
No, he's not. Daniel Bryan's not.
Non-noticeable motherfucker.
No, Daniel Bryan's not. And Brock,
so
he's not.
It's exciting that they've brought in all these people, and I'm not trying to knock everything. I'm freaking pumped for Adam Cole, but I don't think on a marketing level. I still think Vince McMahon is leading the way as far as numbers go, cash wise. We're getting there. We're getting closer, but we're not anywhere close yet.
I think that Dynamite's going to overtake Raw as far as viewership is concerned.
100%. And here's why. And here's why. Because AEW's finally figured out the formula, right? So they do all their things and they get their hardcore audience together. And then they go out and they start finding people that folks like me weren't necessarily completely bought into the product. And they start giving you a little sprinkle of this and a little sprinkle of that. And then somebody like me starts paying a little bit more attention until it builds to the next person that's like, oh, I'm only a WWE guy. And then all of a sudden they end up with somebody like Daniel Bryan, who's just the poster boy for WWE. And he winds up in AEW. That's like a big stretch to grab that last piece of the audience that they haven't taken from WWE yet. And they did it with that signing right there. And I guarantee that the viewership for WWE product drops dramatically in the coming months.
If they don't fit, they don't have a star to build. That's the problem. Is that, like, you know, they had all these stars that built themselves on WWE. Daniel Bryan built himself. Adam Cole built himself. Man, could you imagine if somebody like AJ Styles also jumped? Like, holy shit. I mean, it would be, but I'm just saying that's like sort of the level of what's happening. Like, these guys,
basically, they've got Karrion Kross in a BDSM costume, and that's their main guy.
Right? Like, how bad did they like muck that? Like, this guy was unbeatable, and it's like, no. You're going to look like maybe dildos go in you.
So that right there, that point right there brings me to my final question of the evening.
What the match of the week was?
As a fan, do you prefer to watch professional wrestling or sports entertainment?
Oh, man, you're doing this, huh?
Because there is a clear-cut difference between the two. And it's becoming apparently glaring that one is better than the other.
So, the moniker of sports entertainment, which is the entirety of the show, man, professional wrestling's all over there, right? It's beep, 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 beep. Whereas, like, sports entertainment just kind of goes. Although sports entertainment does occasionally have professional wrestling inserted right in there, generally it's forced, right? It's one of those things where it's like they can't stop it from happening. And I feel like that hits the higher high for me. But it's more painful. Whereas with this, it's all. So, man, I don't even know. It's hard to like put it into words and say what it is. I'm going to say, just thinking about it purely in classic terms, at least at the moment, and we'll see what happens, because the Outlaw Mud Show professional wrestling bullshit, I really hate it. It's really hard to watch. And for me, it makes me want to not watch. It makes me want to just do something else, because it's professional wrestling, but it's also like sport. I don't even know that it's sports entertainment. It's like, it's not sports. It's like some kind of like weird, like bloody boner fetish that I don't want to participate in. And it's like, God, I gotta shut off this bloody boner fucking bullshit. And but I feel like wrestling always kind of has the professional wrestling aspect always sort of has that tied to it. And I realize that I've analyzed this way more than it's probably even worth. But no, I think I like professional wrestling better. I mean, we are the WrestleCast. We're not the sports entertainment cast. Professional wrestling is better. It produces good moments. I particularly enjoy when it inserts itself forcibly into that's not a dildo joke, by the way, into sports entertainment. But yeah, let's go with professional wrestling.
Derek, what about you, bud?
I brought up dildos too many times.
Well, thank you, Tom. That was probably one of your most horrible and sexually explicit sections that you've ever commentated.
It was for you.
Appreciate that.
It was all for you, Derek.
I know previously we've spoken about this, and actually, Tom, I've taken you to task on this. We had a little debate on the sports entertainment versus
hold
pro
on,
wrestling.
Derek. Let me just. You've never taken me to task on anything.
I take you to task every week. That's what I'm here for.
Go on.
I'm like a taskmaster over here, the little short fucker with the eyebrows.
Oh, that taskmaster. That one. Okay. Yeah, my brain immediately went to
I'm the little
one.
booker. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't do Marvel.
He was when he was on Baywatch.
No, whenever he was in the Dungeon of Doom.
No, yeah, when he was on Baywatch.
He was on.
Was he?
Baywatch? Yeah. So he was on Baywatch. Hold on, because this bears discussing. He was on Baywatch, and he was on a team with Ric Flair, who was the bad guy, and Vader. He was Vader's handler or whatever. And like when they came out, Vader crushed a basketball, and like it was full like chalk dust. I don't know why the basketball was full. It was just like. And it was dumb, and like Ric Flair was like, "I'm buying this beach," and like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man were like, "You're not buying this beach. We're gonna wrestle you for it." And they like tied into like that whatever their summer pay-per-view was. It's the worst episode, and there's a lot of bad episodes that they watch. It's so bad,
pretty bad.
But it's worth watching. If you've not seen it, it's worth watching.
I won't watch it. I'm not really sure where I was going with all that. Other than
something about the Taskmaster.
Okay, so yeah, previously.
So Tom took you to task on your own task there, pal. Yeah, he made you forget what the fuck.
Always.
Taskmaster. What a fucking joke.
Sports entertainment is, I know what I defended earlier, and I still stand beside that because it's still entertainment in AEW. Boys, I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter at this point. It's pro wrestling and sports entertainment. It's a mix. It's a yin and yang. It's a fucking recipe that you have to find. It's not. I've evolved to learn that one is not better than the other. You have to find the right mixture.
That was beautiful.
Interesting.
Thank
That
you.
was beautiful.
Anyway, you slice it. I'm really into what AEW's got going on, and I'm gonna keep watching. So let's hope that on Wednesday they don't flub it up.
It'll fuck it up on Wednesday.
Yeah. Hey, so real quick, just quick letter grades all out, Tom.
I'll give it an A. It was great. They did what I wanted them to do, so how could I not give them an A?
Dickbag.
I give you an A- because you didn't let Eddie Kingston win.
Ooh, and they brought Ruby Soho out.
I too gave it an A-. You know, the Britt Baker, Chris Statlander, the Hardy Family Office.
That was the buy-in. Buy-in. They didn't get you to buy it? Oh, well.
I wouldn't have bought it.
You mean Big Money Matt?
Yeah.
I bought it. Tried to give you guys the credentials.
I already watched it after you bought it.
Well, fuck
Match
you
of the
guys.
week.
So because I know you guys aren't going to say this match, and because this was the most captivating WWE match of the week, because I watched everything, boys, gentlemen, men, caballeros.
Sperm dinners.
No, I've never donated my sperm. Too damn.
You guys don't do that? Oh, I mean,
it's
never
too
mind.
damn powerful. But anyway, my match of the week actually, although we didn't talk about it, was from the SmackDown. So on SmackDown, the main event was Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor, and it was a great match. They gave it some time. Roman beat Finn. Obviously, they're not going to let Roman drop the title on a random Friday. He beat him. However, after the fact, got a little bit of demon vibes, a little bit of heartbeat. So I'm thinking that's going to lead to a demon versus Roman. Hopefully a build. I really like when they build with the demon. You know what I mean? Like when they did with Rollins when he was like looking for him. I hope, regardless of what the outcome is, well, you beat Balor, but man, can you beat the demon? I don't know. He's a different animal, and yada yada. And if they build that right, and if Balor gets some jumps on Roman as the demon on regular TV, I really think that's going to be the way to go. I don't think they're going to let Balor take the title off of Roman, but I would really love to see that. And they had a great match too. I mean, I think Roman's matches have really stepped up a lot in the last year. The man's been the champion now for over a year, and deservedly so.
100%.
He's been the most captivating thing on Friday nights, regardless of whatever else is going on any other channels or on SmackDown. Everything can be very captivating on Friday night on the AEW television show. However, Roman Reigns is still the better segment of the night, or segments, depending.
I agree with that.
But I'm now very interested, probably more interested than ever, if they go Demon Balor and they drag that out a little bit, because that will be until you actually get the Brock Lesnar versus Roman that you want. Although I do think that Brock's not gonna win. But no, that match was great. The tease at the end was great, and that's like, well, now I got to watch it Wednesday and I got to watch it Friday, and that's where my eyeballs are gonna go. It's clearly Monday, and I'm talking to you guys, so
yeah,
they haven't convinced me to watch Raw. Otherwise, they're like, nah, I can't. We gotta go do it tomorrow. I gotta watch Raw. But no, it's not. It's not that way. Although I'm sure RK Bro is putting on a perfectly good carrying of a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
I'm sure their shoulders will be tired by the end of the night.
It's not enough, man. Not enough.
Derek.
Raw sounds terrible, and I haven't even seen it yet.
It's not good. I'm not. This was not me trying to put Raw over for you. It's not. It's not good.
No.
You shouldn't.
I'm not interested in 3 hours of RK Bro.
I might put it on at 10 because they'll show me what happened.
Frelin whining. Yeah,
they'll
there you go.
they'll
That's
recap
a
the
safe
whole
bet.
damn thing for me. I'll know everything that happened in 60 minutes, and I'll even watch 15 minutes of commercials.
You know what? I can't wait until the contract with Hulu expires because I have Peacock commercial free. So that's a little upgrade on the cock there.
Got to pay for the cock.
That'll be exciting.
Cock's already mad at WWE. So.
Yeah, that might not last long. I haven't deleted WWE Network because I expect to go back to that eventually. Anyway, I've got two this week, fellas. Obviously, Eddie Kingston, and I'm not going to go into that. That was I've made it clear throughout the show that I love that match, so we're not going to go into that. I enjoyed it. It was one of my matches of the week.
It's a good match.
It was a great match. The other one was the for the tag team title belts on AEW All Out in the cage. The Lucha Brothers, the Young Bucks. It was fantastic. I loved it with the boot when the shoe comes out when Brandon Statler throws the bag in.
Cutler,
whatever. Yeah, Statlander, Cutler. You know I'm bad with names. That was the problem. If he would have had some of that in there, then they would have not lost the belts.
But he didn't.
Otherwise, it was great. Hard-hitting. It was almost the tale of two matches, where one is the opening match between Miro and Kingston was a straight-up brawl and a hard-hitting, stiff, strong style, very strong style match. Whereas here in the tag team championships, you had just a straight-up good wrestling match, not Outlaw Mud Show. I wouldn't give it that. Would you give it that, even with the blood and the boot and the thumbtacks?
It was a little spotty.
Was it iffy?
By spotty, I mean spot festy. I'm sure Dave Meltzer is going to give it 5 stars.
But it was fun. Was it not fun? And
it was look. I'm going to tell you, for having seen that match at least 4 times, that was the best version of it that I've seen.
Okay, and now we're done with it.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Lucha Bros.
I don't want to see any more of it, though. Look, I hope that's the end, right? Like, I don't want to see that anymore. And like, I feel like what AEW does is they dilute. Like, that would have been a great, like, blow your load match on that. But, like, that's like, they're like 6 loads deep on that match.
I feel you.
So
well, I enjoyed it. It was good.
I mean, it was good. No, I'm not telling you I didn't like it. I'm just saying that, like, to me, it's like when they were like, "Oh my God, the Labors of Jericho in a death match for the 5th week in a row." It felt like that to me. So I feel like their prior booking of it took away for me. But you know, it was they went out there and they worked their asses off. So good for them. It wasn't exactly. I mean, it was more or less the match I expected it to be. They did a really good job. But I mean, it was only going to ever be that, right?
Very acceptable.
But they accomplished 100% of what they could have accomplished. They got 100% on the test.
100%.
Walt,
what do you got?
I agree with Derek. Match of the week was definitely the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks. I did not see a match this week that compared to it. I thought they told a great story.
That was the match of that was the best match of All Out for me.
Well, you know, that's okay too, pal. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I'm happy. Happy with the way it went down. Get to maybe see a little resurgence in the AEW tag team division now that the Bucks don't have the stranglehold on it. I'll be interested to see, though, how the Bucks act moving forward because I'm really into their new shtick. So let's keep.
Really, I hope they go on vacation.
They won't.
Yeah, I know, but that was my hope.
All right, gentlemen. Well, let's get up on out of here. Yeah, fun. I enjoyed All Out a lot, actually. You know, really did.
It was a good. It was as good as it could have been, and that was great.
Yeah. It was a perfect stopper to our holiday weekend. about some of that. Is that not perfect?
I'll-
I should work for an advertising company at this shit.
I mean, they like threw out. There was like a big meaty ball just thrown, and they knocked it out of the park. They hit they got a perfect home run ball thrown at them, knocked it out of the park, and I can't.
Coach Tom with the analogy.
I can't knock him. I can't really knock him for anything they did. I feel like they played everything exactly They had a lot of good opportunities sprout to their their benefit. They played every one of them as best as they possibly could, and they knocked it out of the park.
Enjoyed it.
How do you do better than they did? I don't think you do.
Let's see what they do with the momentum on Wednesday, pal.
Yeah, go try get another pitch. You didn't get another good pitch on Wednesday.
Yep.
Right. I mean, you got eyeballs and ears and heads excited.
Historically, they don't do very good on the first Dynamite post pay-per-view. So
I hope they don't shit the bed.
Be
I
interested
really hope they
to see
don't.
how it goes.
I'll be watching though.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, let's get up on out here now. If you're watching us on YouTube, you know that we exist. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We enjoy that. Tom really enjoys it. Although I named a little episode last week, it was really clicky. But I mean, we did talk about it. Some guy was like, because I forgot to post it on Friday morning. I posted it like Saturday morning. I don't know. I'm probably drunk whenever
She was there on Friday night. Like,
okay,
we talked about the song. I didn't say anything to him because like I realized we had talked about it on Monday, and I was like,
yeah.
I can't even like say because it was like, well, it went up late, so.
Yeah.
That's not I can't even criticize him for that because like he was right. She was there. She wasn't out. Yeah.
Well,
they had a good
can't win them all.
They had a good SmackDown.
Can't win them all.
Can't win them all.
Yeah. So follow us on social media, both Twitter and Instagram at @1_Fall WC. That's ONE. And you audio folks, man. Keeping it going. I appreciate the fuck out of every one of you. Really do.
We get a check for this yet?
No. This is a labor of love.
Walt just holds them all. We've been getting checks. Walt just holds them. He don't give them
8 cents, 9 cents, 13 cents.
Once you do his taxes, you'll know. It'll be fine.
I put him into a savings account for us, pal.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah. So, with all that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. One Fall WrestleCast.
Okay, peace.